got a good workout in, hit up some chest. Now we're on a 10-minute walk, and there's a couple things I want to encourage some of you guys to do, some of you girls to do. Number one is, get around some good people. Get around some people that are attracted to not what you have or necessarily what you do, but people that are attracted to beyond just that, people that are attracted into some of your beliefs, some of your ideas, some of your principles. I shot a video a little while ago about like some non-negotiables, some things that I don't fold on, some things that I don't bend on. I'll go off my diet here and there. I'll do A, B, or C just like any average person, but I have some rules that I don't really like let go of, and I try to hold on to at least some of them. These guys are guys that are doing the same. These are guys that believe in the same idea of like, yeah, life will happen, things will get in the way, there'll be certain vacations, you should enjoy a drink here or there, enjoy some food here and there. Maybe even you mess up for a week, maybe you mess up for 2 weeks, but you always stay attached to some general principles. What I wanted to share with you guys today, and I don't think I share it enough, is that I'm a byproduct of having a really good team. I got a really good crew around me. I got some people that really care. They care about me, they care about the brand, and the most important thing, which I think is the most important thing, they care about getting themselves better as a person, as a human being. But what I want to also share with you is that it goes a lot further, and it goes beyond what we do in the gym. These guys both are people that have taken risks in their life. They took a chance. I took a chance on them. They took a chance on me. Tom moved all the way from Ohio. He had a good job. He had a good paying job. Andrew had a good paying job. Took a pay cut to come here. He kind of Tom Brady'd it, right? A lot of other people have done that, made a similar sacrifice, that work in the office of Slingshot and that work for SuperTraining. And what I want to share with you today is that these are two guys that maybe you haven't heard a ton about yet. Maybe you heard Andrew on the podcast. Maybe you've seen Tom on the YouTube channel a little bit. But these are guys that took risks that are maybe risks that you should be taking, or risks that you should maybe just consider, because maybe you feel stuck, maybe you feel jammed. And maybe for somebody listening right now, maybe they're having a hard time figuring out. I keep hearing people say you got to follow your passion, you got to follow your interest, and maybe you just have no clue on how to do it. You heard my story a million gazillion times. I'm going to have them share their story in just a second. But what I want you to do is I want you to try to marry these three things together. Again, this is something I learned this morning off of YouTube. Marry the things that you love to do, the things that you're good at, and things that people would possibly pay you for. Things that people would possibly pay you for, things that you're good at, and things you love to do. Those three things, those three principles, I see in these guys. I see these guys applied these three principles to things that they already liked, and now they get paid for it. I'm going to turn it over to them because I never shut the hell up. Tom, why don't you kick it off and give them a little information on how you ended up doing what you went to school for, something that you're passionate about. How did it work out for you?
Yeah, so I guess I'll try to be as concise as possible. I've always been an artist. I never thought I could have a career in it. I had a great high school art teacher, Miss Jones, who told me about biomedical art.
Miss Jones.
Miss Jones.
Shout out Miss Jones.
I loved science and medicine, and I've always been fascinated with muscles and anatomy, which is why I'm kind of into bodybuilding. So I went to the Cleveland Institute of Art. They were one of a few schools that had biomedical art as a major. So I'm a couple years into that, and all of my roommates do industrial design, which is designing products. So I got really interested in that and started more or less double majoring, and then decided I'd blend the two and do medical design. Did my thesis with the Cleveland Clinic, designing medical devices. It was a lot of fun. And then got out of school, was working for a consultancy. While I was in school, I met Mark, and we had stayed in touch for about 4 years. And around that time, I had left the consultancy to work for one of the biggest, or the biggest, sporting goods companies in the world. It was a great job. I had a lot of fun. I was able to travel a bit. But then Mark reached out if I'd want to, come design for him. And it was a big decision to make, but it was an easy one. I would have regretted not taking that leap. I did leave a big corporate environment, a safe job to go do something that at the time was kind of a risk. My buddy and I moved across the country to come design here, and I haven't looked back since. And now it's been, I think, like 13 months, so over a year, and I don't regret it one bit. I get to do what I love every day. I got involved in powerlifting, now I'm doing bodybuilding, and I get to, similar to the way I blended art and medicine, now I get to blend art and my love of lifting weights and bodybuilding. So it worked out pretty perfect.
He helps make products here.
Yeah.
He and I design them together, and sometimes he comes up with stuff completely on his own. Andrew, you better have a good story, because Tom mentioned that he had a thesis. So I don't know if you're going to be able to compete with that, but what's up with you, Andrew?
Well, I guess my only answer to that is I don't really know what a thesis is, because I didn't go to school.
Sounds serious.
Yeah, it sounds like a nemesis or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, just before I met Mark, I was doing a lot of freelance photography work while working at a job that one day I realized if I disappeared, nothing would change, and that killed me inside. The feeling of not being fulfilled was just screaming at me every single day. So I started pouring more of my time and energy into my photography, and I was taking, any job that I could take, doing freelance work. So we're talking like stupid, like birthday parties that were really annoying, random photo shoots, engagement photo shoots, which led to weddings, which led to a lot of good pay, but I didn't necessarily love it. Meanwhile, I was trying to get jacked and tan at the time, wasn't successful at that, but I was already like into fitness. And then Mark Bell had a free seminar at the SuperTraining gym, and I had heard about the gym from Bigger, Stronger, Faster, from Chris Bell being on Joe Rogan, thinking like, man, I can't wait to one day go check out that gym. And here was this opportunity that presented itself because my now wife was following one of the lifters that was going to be at the gym. So I had an excuse to go, into the SuperTraining gym. And I just said, if I have one small opportunity to ask Mark Bell about, photography stuff, I was going to take that chance. And so finally got an opportunity, talked to Mark. It's like, hey, do powerlifters need photos taken? Because at the time I knew nothing about powerlifting, but I knew bodybuilders close to a show, they get photos done. So the complete opposite for a powerlifter, but I asked him anyways. And he's just like, no, powerlifters don't need photos. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, all right, well, at least I tried. And then he says, but I need photos. We don't have an in-house photographer. And so, like, that blew my mind, because I'm thinking, dude, it's SuperTraining gym. How do they not have a photographer? So I handed him my card. Eventually came in. And one thing that a lot of content creators today don't understand, but I know Carlos working the camera right now, he understands this. I came in expecting zero pay. I just wanted to get my foot in the door, to work my ass off, to show Mark that I was a good photographer. I didn't ask for money or anything up front. Shit, I didn't ask for any money when he actually did offer me to pay me. But I worked for about a month and a half to 2 months. And one day I just told Mark, I'm like, hey, my work schedule is going to change, so I won't be able to come in at my normal times. And he's like, we won't have to worry about that much longer. And I didn't even know what that meant at the time, but basically that was him saying, we're going to give you a full-time position, in which I did take a really big pay cut. I was working in I had a job that a lot of people would be really ecstatic to have. I was in the medical field. I had some of the best benefits you could ever imagine. And I was like, nope, I'm out of here, because I hate this job. I didn't hate the job, it just wasn't for me. Came over to SuperTraining and then started doing photos, started doing videos. And then eventually one day, cornered Mark in his office because I seen an opportunity with the podcast. And I'm like, hey, I need to be the man that produces the podcast. And Mark's like, cool, I don't have to find somebody to do it now. And when we're talking about risks, I actually had no idea how to actually run a podcast. So when he said yes, I kind of shit my pants. But eventually went to YouTube University, got some help from my man Krusty Kev, and we got the podcast off the ground, and yeah, here we are today.
So if you just kind of think about what we talked about, which was a lot right there,
That's awesome.
you want to get around like-minded people. You want to get around people that want to work, at a similar pace, or that maybe potentially have the ability to someday work at a similar pace to what you like and what you're used to. One of my favorite quotes is from Louis Simmons, one of my mentors. If you walk with the lame, you will develop a limp. And you can see we're all walking together right now, and none of us have a limp. We're all like-minded people. We just want to do better. We all want to impact people too. And that's kind of an underpinning thing that we don't really talk about that much, but the motto of what we do here is we want to teach people that Slingshot and SuperTraining Gym exists to make the world a better place to lift. And we want you guys to feel that. When you get a product from us, or you see a product from us, or you see the YouTube channel, the Power Project, you see any of the stuff that we have, we want you to feel it. Also, make no mistake about it, that none of the stories that you just heard, none of what I've built up over the years, built up a multi-million-dollar business. Don't have any problem with sharing that with people. It's just a fact. We've done really, really well. We're going on being in business for a decade, but it spawned and it was birthed from giving people the free gym. SuperTraining Gym was first. Don't forget that. That's an important fact. Is that SuperTraining Gym is about 13 years old, and Slingshot's going to be 10 years old. None of it would ever happen if I didn't have some of my services out there for free. We wouldn't have a lot of the men and women that work for us now. We wouldn't have any of them, actually. I don't know how I would find people. I'd have to just try to figure out a way to scrape people together. But years ago, when I made the gym free and I didn't really have any money, one of my friends said, hey, why are you making the gym free? And I said, so I can be rich. And then he just kind of looked at me and he was like, that's really weird, but I kind of know what you mean. And even if I didn't make money, I would still be rich if I was able to have a free gym, and if I was able to provide this kind of service for people, just because of how it makes me feel and because of the people that I met. I can't replace that. I can't put a dollar amount on that. So there you have it. If you walk with the lame, you'll develop a limp. Get around some like-minded people. I never have a problem with working out, ever. If I don't feel like training, all I got to do is say, hey, Tom, you want to go train? He's like, yep. Andrew, you want to train? Like, before I'm done with the sentence, they might even say, oh, I trained earlier today, but then they'll still lift with me.
You don't even ask.
Because we all want to get after it whatever way we can. Thank you guys so much for following along. Let me know what you're passionate about, and let me know what you're trying to chase down. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch y'all later.